Listen, listen. It is not whether you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Republican, or Democrat. It's if you are ready to fight for justice for all, no matter what label you are under. All right, we're back. Oh, we're back. Yeah, y'all can see us, and we should be back again here, doing what we do. So this should be good, you know. So hopefully we should be live. There we go. All right, we're gonna get live again here. See if we can change it up. Hey everybody, I see you. Hey, there you are. Look at it. I know, because my sister is on, and she's my beloved sister. I put on a clean white shirt with starch. So I say I got starch on. Did we go out again?
No, we're good.
Oh, okay. I just looked. So anyway, I got this clean white shirt on because I wanted to make sure that I was good to go, because you know what? I didn't want her talking about me later. So I just got to play it by ear because I don't see us on the big screen. So, so I just want to make sure that we're going here. Oh, there I am. Hey, there he is. Well, you know what? I really had to say that. I don't think I broke the camera this time. Because, see, you really can't see my whole face. See, because I got my hat on, I got my glasses on, and then my beard. So I couldn't have broke the camera this time. But, now if you could see my whole face, I might have broke the camera. But I didn't do it this time. But, we're going to talk about some things. We're going to have a real conversation with my sister. That's what we're going to have. And, I'm so proud that she's here, without a doubt, because I love her dearly. I really do. She's my rock. I want y'all to know this is my rock. This is my baby sister. This is someone who has been with me, almost all my life. Because I'm 5 years older. Don't tell her that, because she, I think she has a complex, because she keeps acting like she's my older sister. So we won't tell her that. That'll be our secret. I'm gonna bring her on because we're running a little late, and I want us to be able to get as much time as we can. And our producer named this segment "Do You Love Your Sibling?" Tell them you love him. Sound like one of the Maury Povich shows or something. Like I'm going to expose something. You are not my sister. Pull out the envelope, talk about the DNA.
Put
Stephanie.
your hands up.
That's how we know we're related. Look at our hands.
Same hands.
We got the same hands. Same hand. And if we wouldn't scare you, we got the same feet.
No, we don't. Mine's cute.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. No, y'all laugh. Some of you probably say, oh, that's so cute. Listen, my sister, when one day looked at my feet, because I put them up by her, and she started hollering, talking about my feet scared her, So I don't, what, and I grew up with a complex. I grew up with a complex, Stephanie. I just want to be clear,
They still scare me.
You know what? Yeah, I would never wear sandals, because I didn't want people to be scared of my feet. And when I met someone I wanted to date, I kept my socks on. Well, after we dated for a minute, I still kept my socks on.
You're okay.
We're going to cut you off the show now. I got a real complex. But anyway, my sister, Stephanie Jewett. And Stephanie, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good today. Doing good.
All right. And every now and then you may hear, we have a nickname for each other. He calls me Bull Boy, and I call her Bull Girl. And that's our nickname. You did that.
I know it.
You started that.
I sure did.
Okay. And I've always wanted to ask you, was there something about me that you needed a nickname?
I don't know why. I just started calling you that. Bull boy.
But I accept it. And here's the thing. Let me tell y'all something. Seriously, we call each other every day. Sometimes twice a day, we call and we FaceTime to make sure that we see it. She'll tell me, she'll say, "I'm gonna hang up the phone because I can't see your face. I got to see your face."
Gotta look at you.
And I want to try. I want to say I love you for that, and I love talking to you every day. I really do.
I love talking to you.
Yeah.
I gotta keep tabs.
Yeah.
I am the big sister, the little big sister.
Little big sister, I'll go with that. Stephanie, I'm so proud of you for
Thank you.
many, 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 many reasons. You know, one, you're my rock. But one of the things that I was talking to you one day, and you said to me, I don't know if you even remember, you said, boy, I do the things I do because I want to give back to a community. I want to give back to children. And in doing that, you became a foster parent. And you've been giving back ever since I've known you to individuals. You know, tell the audience about that. What do you mean giving back and with foster parents? And because you have raised about 8 now.
I've raised 6, but
Okay.
I've had probably about 11 different children in my home.
Wow.
Yes. I got tired of babies that I knew, that I helped take care of. Then they would go in the system, but I wasn't a foster parent or anything. So I had to back up and walk away.
Wow.
So that's what made me decide to be a foster parent, because I couldn't lose no more of these babies that was in my heart.
Mm. Mm. So, first of all, just for others that may want to be a foster parent that may be listening right now, what's the process to that? Is that a long process?
You know, I heard something on the news the other day where they're going to shorten the process out.
Really?
Yes, it used to be a long process. You have to do so many hours of training. You have to be interviewed. You have to do drug tests. You have to do fingerprinting, background check, and it was quite a process for me.
Mm. They, also, we want to say, thank you to Maria Revase. She just joined us. She says, peace. I love seeing Stephanie. She's an angel.
Thank you, Maria. Love you too.
Maria, we'll talk after, and I'll tell you the real deal. But anyway, but the key with that, Stephanie, is that it, you didn't just say I'm tired of seeing it. You put it to work. You put your mouth, into motion, and you committed your home. You know.
Yes, because I found out after the children started coming to my home as foster kids, um, I couldn't see them leaving my home
Mm.
because we had that connection, that love, and I couldn't see them being put somewhere else than maybe somewhere else, than maybe even a group home, because they would give me challenging children. You
Oh
know,
wow.
they said we see you can handle children with challenges. Um, After I adopted my twins,
Okay.
they started giving me older children.
Okay.
Um, and it was real challenging, all these different personalities, all these different issues. Some of them had mental issues, some of them had abuse issues, you know, but I couldn't let them, I couldn't let some of them go, because they were already stuck in my heart.
Mm. So what kind of what kind of issues are you talking about? If somebody else is listening right now and they're thinking about, foster children, What would that, what would you tell them? Because when you say challenges, that scares people. Yeah.
Yes, there are challenges because the system might not tell you the child has violent tendencies. They might not tell you that.
Oh, wow.
The system might not tell you they're a runner. You
Okay.
know, they might not tell you that. They just might say, oh, they're kind of hard to handle. But then you get the child in your home, and you have a child that punches walls, tears up stuff, wants to fight other kids. But you have to be willing to deal with that.
Mm.
You have to. Sometimes you might have to remove that child if it's a danger to other children in your home. But you have to go through their paperwork.
Okay.
You have to ask the people, let me see their paperwork. So you know what you're getting into before you take this child in your home.
Mm-hmm.
Because they won't always tell you.
Wow. Wow. I also want to thank Bishop Tammy Harris is watching, and she says, also says thanks Stephanie for your heart of these babies.
Thank you, Bishop Tammy. I'm going to call you.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause you said something before, and while she's before we got started the show.
I heard God in you. Last podcast, I heard God in you. And I don't want to start crying.
No,
but
we get some Kleenex
I don't
here.
need no Kleenex.
Yeah, I may need some Kleenex. Now,
Yes.
you just ain't by yourself.
But you touched
Yeah.
my heart.
Yeah.
I heard God in you.
All
I
right.
am going through a period in my life where I'm trying to get closer to God. Not by just going to sitting in church. I'm trying to read the Bible, learn the Bible. I'm trying to do all these things because I want to be a better person. You know, even though my children are grown, I still want to be a better mother to them.
Wow.
A better grandmother, because I'm not perfect. I still fly off the handle. They think I'm nuts, but that's okay. I am. You
Okay.
know.
Real
But
conversation. Okay.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to get better. I'm trying to better myself.
Okay. Is that something, even a foster parent, is that something that a foster parent has to be able to do like 24/7, always trying to better themselves? Because they're not an example for some children that already have some issues sometimes.
Yes, you do. You have to work on yourself because some children and teenagers especially can be challenging to you.
Wow.
And you can take these children in your home and raise them up until teenagers, and then all their back issues come out as a teenagers.
Mm.
And they might strike out at you even though you're not the one they're mad at.
Okay.
So you have to be able to deal with that. And I'm not good at that. I'll be the first to admit. I'm not good at that.
Wow. So how do you do that, Stephanie? I mean, you're saying I'm not good at that. So how do you deal with that?
How do I deal with that
Yeah.
now?
Yes.
I'm getting closer to God and I'm going to therapy. To be honest.
Yeah, no, the real
Yeah,
conversation.
because I have to be honest with me. I have to look in the mirror and see where I'm wrong at.
Wow. Okay.
Before I can look at that child and address that child.
Wow.
Because I have to find better ways to address teenagers. They're different species.
Mm.
So you have to find how you can come to their level to talk to make them understand
Right.
without being, I'll give an example because I'm old school. Me and my daughter was going to the store last night. I told her, walked in the bedroom, told her oldest daughter, I said, we're going to the store. You come out and get the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You watch him. And my daughter said, well, that was kind of rude. I said, what you mean? You should have asked her, would she watch the baby? I'm old school.
Uh-huh.
you're the teenager. We're going to the store. You watch the baby.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not, you know, but I look back and I said, well, yeah, I probably should have asked her,
Okay.
would you watch the baby instead of just demanding that she come out and get the baby?
Wow.
You know, and sometimes you got to look at stuff, simple stuff like that.
Yeah. Because it's the little things, right?
Yeah.
That even feel. Did she come out and watch the baby?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I just want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, because I felt like she didn't have a choice,
Yeah.
but her mother said she had a choice, you
Okay,
know.
okay.
But that's the old school in me.
Okay.
You know, that's the old school in me. And I have a 17-year-old that my old school ways does not work with her no way, shape, or form. You
Wow.
know,
Okay.
it doesn't work with her.
Oh wow. So it's a give and take.
Yes,
It's a learning piece.
it is.
Because a lot of times, with that, because that phrase now, and not comparing parents to animals, but the saying says, "Old dogs don't learn new tricks," you know. But I think in this day and age, in this climate, we have to be open now, because the climate's different.
Yes. You
Okay.
know, it's like, okay, I have my older set of kids,
Okay.
my middle set, and then the baby.
Wow.
And I can't, I couldn't, I can't raise this baby like I did the older set
Mm.
or the middle set. You know, it's just three different generations, three different challenges.
Wow. Wow. So that that's deep. No, that is so deep. How how do you man, how you manage that? I mean, that means you're
Trial and error.
okay. Okay.
Trial and error.
Because you're talking about, because you got parents out there right now that are saying, I'm the parent, period. There's no bending, no wavering, and
You gotta bend a little, but you also have to stop being your child's friend.
oh wow,
You know,
okay,
they're not your road dog.
okay,
You know, bottom line. You know,
yeah,
none of my daughters, now my older daughters are my daughters, but they're my friends now. After you reach 21, 22, we can have a friendship,
right,
but not until you're an adult.
okay,
You know, you're not my, and you know, you're not my equal as a child.
okay. So you got an adult with an adult, an older adult in
Yes.
respect, but as a child, you need a parent.
Yes, you
Okay.
do. Now I'm not your friend.
Okay,
You know, there's rules, regulations, and everything else as a child, even teenagers.
yeah.
You know, there's no guidance anymore.
What do you
There's
mean by
no-
that?
There's no guidance. These young people don't have no guidance. They just go do what they want to do. The majority of them. I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying all people let their kids run wild. But
Right.
the majority of these teenagers run wild.
Wow. Well, I just want to go back. Bishop Harris said, after your comment, she said, "My God." Then she said, "I'll be waiting." So she's waiting for your call.
Okay.
And we have Malik Abdul-Samad that got on, and Malik is saying, looking forward to both my dad, and that's one of my adopted ones, and my auntie, which is one of your
Yes.
adopted one, on tonight. Love you both beyond infinity. Ooh, that's a long way. All right, that's good. And we also want to thank Brian West for being on. Because Brian said, from your comments, Brian said, this is why I made sure I stood up as a father and looked and took custody of my kids, because they didn't ask to be here. And so my mind was like, if not me, then who?
And that's so true.
Yeah.
These babies didn't ask to be here.
Question: Can I? How do you handle? All right, now you adopted children. How you handle when a parent wants to come back into the life of the child? You know, has that ever been a challenge to you?
I have four adopted daughters, and I have never had a problem with their parents wanting to see them because I still run the show.
Okay,
I run the show.
okay,
And if you can't agree with my show, then you need to go on.
okay,
And I've had some issues
okay.
with some one set of parents,
Right.
but we worked through the issue,
Okay.
because I still have the say so,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah. And one thing I love about, you know, being at the house, when I come to the house, you know, because I'm telling you, y'all have kept me alive many a day with some baked beans and some fish, and so I'm all right, But when I come, I've never walked in your home and looked at all the babies, your daughters, grandbabies, and everything, and thought of foster care, thought about adoption. I love them. They're my nieces and nephews and
Yeah, because they're my babies.
exactly,
They're my babies,
exactly. Because they're at home. I see you treat them as being at home, and I mean, as your babies. And so and it just dawned on me that we're talking about it and adopt. But I've never walked in your home and felt, oh yeah, this is Stephanie's adopted, and this my adopted niece and nephew. They're my nieces and nephews. And this, I love them, man, because of what you did. But I also see in them you. I see you in them. Yeah.
And I do. I worked hard to give each and one of them the love that I feel they need,
Mm.
from my biological to the ones I adopted,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't look at them as adopted kids. I look at them as my babies,
Mm.
you know. And I'm going to go to bat for them, right or wrong. I'm still going to be there for them no matter what.
Right. Wow. And just one of your children just said, Taylor. Taylor just said hi.
Hi, baby.
Yeah. But and Stephanie Roth, who's watching us now, said, the homeless camps are being attacked. Hit me up in PM. Yeah. Okay. All right, Stephanie. We'll get there. We'll get that. And now also Brian West and Stephanie, maybe you can address this. It says the systems is built for them to fail, so we need to stand up.
That's true.
What does that mean, though? Help me clarify that.
That the system is doing the very little for our children, the
Okay.
very minimum. They're not there unless you have somebody that's written for you and staying on it. They don't care.
Wow.
They're just doing their job to get their paycheck and go on. They're not there. Um, I've been fighting with the system for the last 6 months, trying to get help
What kind of help, Stephanie? Because that's a challenge
with
now.
my child.
Okay. Okay.
And they have failed me completely.
Okay.
They have failed me completely. Um, I'm the bad guy.
Wow.
I'm the bad guy. Even though the Department of Human Service knows I'm not the bad guy, but still there's no help. Once you adopt a child, it's hell to get services for them.
Really?
Once you adopt them, yes.
Wow.
It is. If you keep them in foster care, you have a better chance of getting more services for them. But once you adopt, it's hard.
See, this is real conversation, folks. Call people now, tell them they need to be in there. Join us for this real conversation. This is important. You know, and April Wells, who's the director, of the show here, she says that these new school kids are sensitive. Do you see that the young people, because you said you got the older, the
Yeah.
middle, and the
Well,
younger.
look what they did. They made the younger kids go earlier to school, and the high schoolers go later because the high schoolers needed more rest. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then what angers me, after you're 16 years old, they don't check your truancies or anything. Um, you
Really?
can come, you can come to school. You don't. There's no consequences after you're 16. You're legally able to drop out of school. Yeah, there's no consequences.
That sounds like, if I can say, a little crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, because you know what? Because I remember and going back, and when we talk about old school, I mean, we grew up with old school, boy, all the way up to 12th grade, boy. If I missed a class, Mama knew.
Yeah. Oh, we know. We got the parent portal and everything.
Uh-huh.
We know they're missing class, but the school does nothing about it after they're 16. After they're 16, well, 15, they can put them on what is it called? Some kind of plan or something. Well, if
Mm-hmm.
you mess up, such and such is going to happen. At 16, nothing.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, I have a child that this just one semester has missed 190 something days of classes. And there's nothing they are doing
Wow.
because she's older.
And that's one of the challenges
Yeah,
that you're talking about.
yeah, that's one of the challenges.
Man, Stephanie, I mean, we grew up together. I remember you in our household. You
I hope so.
yeah, you hung out. You hung out in the house. Stephanie, to the point is, you're looking at two things. If you could change anything now growing up, what would you change? And the second part of that, right now in your life, if you could have changed something, if you even feel like you had to change something, what would you change?
When we were growing up, what would I change?
Yeah.
I'd have, I would have made sure my mama had more money. Bottom line, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. How
You
about
know.
now in your life? What now? Cause you.
I would have got a higher education.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'd have stayed in college.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. And I do want to ask, cause I'm serious. I'm thinking about going back. Do you ever think about going back?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you encourage someone our age?
Yes. Anybody can do it. When I seen this 89-year-old woman get a degree, that
Wow.
was inspiration to me.
To you?
Yes.
How old was she?
She was 89.
I know I can go back there.
Yeah.
I know I can go back. Yeah, is she 89? Shoot. Yeah, shoot. I'm just now turning close to your age, Stephanie. So, so, but that's incentive. I tell you what, let's seriously though. Let's talk about you and I going back together.
We can talk about
Let's. Yeah, but okay, let's go back to the point. You got social media. Has social media caused any problems or challenges?
I think social media, roadblocks, all that stuff like that is corrupting our children.
Okay.
I
In
don't
what
argue.
way? Help in what
Their
way?
mindset. And
Okay.
all that social media stuff, and a lot of stuff they believe because it's on there, and it's false. They're believing false information.
Okay. All right. But it does some good. I mean, more people are aware about things now because of social media.
Yes, some some
than when we were going.
things,
Yeah.
everything with it ain't bad, but I think too much time on your phone on social media, you know, okay, I'm glad that they're making these kids not have their phone all days at school.
Okay.
Because they get on there and they get to arguing and fighting with each other when they're supposed to be in class. Because they're on their phone texting and, they might be fighting with somebody over at another high school, arguing with them. And then they're meeting up after school,
Yeah.
you know.
One of the things that we push on this podcast is that we challenge parents to go back to that Sunday meal. When you go in and put the cell phones away, the video games away, and literally sit down at the table and eat together and have some real conversation at the table instead of everybody on their phone or somebody picks up and goes and eats into the bedroom or somebody goes there. Now, and I say that because even when I'm at your house, folk are still sitting around eating together and conversation is taking place. you know, and that type of thing.
But there's still, some of them still on their phone.
Yeah,
But we mostly every Sunday, my
Okay.
house is full.
right, okay.
3 Sundays out of the month, you know. Um, but when we start talking, we put them phones down and we have real conversations,
Okay.
you know. Because my twins enlighten me with stuff about what them grandkids and with that younger daughter that, they can enlighten me about things,
Okay.
that I don't know about.
Oh, okay. So they help you.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
So y'all share information.
correct.
Yeah. But that means
Because
again.
they're adults, they're 20.
Right. Right. So, but you're able to communicate. How important is communication with your children?
It's very important. You got to learn to listen.
Ah.
You got to learn to listen. I tried to, I was in a disagreement with my 17-year-old, and the person at the school was sitting there, and she got to rambling and everything. I asked the woman, did you just hear what she said? Besides the other stuff she was saying, did you hear what she said?
Mm.
The bottom line, she said, I don't want nobody to have control over me and tell me what to do. But the woman didn't hear none of that.
Wow.
I heard every bit of it.
Right.
Because I told the woman that is our issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am going to tell you right from wrong. And you're not going to come in and out of my house any time of the night at 16.
Mm.
No, she was 16 at the time.
Right.
No, you're not. My job is to keep you safe. And the way this world is now, I can't let you run loose like that. A beautiful young lady? Oh, no. I still try to keep tabs on my twins,
Yeah.
and even my older ones. Because it's not safe out there anymore. It's not.
Yeah.
I feel you should always let somebody know where you're at. I keep tabs on you. To be honest.
Did y'all hear that? See, I knew I had a tracker on me. See, I knew my phone kept beeping off funny. No,
you ain't got
man.
no tracker. But it's not safe for young women to be out there by themselves.
Or young men.
Girls.
Yeah.
No, young men either. It's not.
Yeah. One of the things, and I want to say that, how truth it is, because my sister, and I don't know how she did, because I sure didn't do it. But anyway, April and Langston, my sister knows where I'm at 24/7. She'll call me, she'll call me and say, "Oh, you over by Methodist Hospital? What you doing at the hospital?" And I would say, how you know I'm at the hospital? She said, I got you. And she'll
Yeah.
call and that type of, but I'm saying, and doing that with the children, but, I don't know if, I think parents hear that we have to be more cautious in this climate. But I don't think a lot of parents realize why we have to be more cautious in this climate. I don't think, like you said, I think
Anything could happen.
I mean, even to the point of, now people are questioning, they found 4 bodies down by the river, you know, and people
Correct.
are questioning why are we finding so many bodies by the river, and then the other statistic that is scary to me, I mean, seriously scary to me, is that when I was watching this TV show, I think it was a documentary, and I'm watching, it was about trafficking, you know.
Yes.
I was watching, but at the end, when that statistic came up there and said 300,000 babies a year are missing out of the United States. And they said normally between the age of 11 and 14, mostly young women, but young boys too.
Correct.
That made my heart jump. I mean, I swear, I broke out in a sweat because I said, wait a minute. I mean, you say 300,000 a year. Yeah, I mean, that's 900,000 in 3 years.
Yeah, it's scary.
And then, people were talking about, and then it brought back, I know when people were talking about the Epstein files and everything, when they first started talking about it, it triggered in my head, triggered sadness in my head because I remember decades ago, we were, I ordered all these books. I had about 2 or 3 cases of the Franklin cover up talking about the same thing. But and the thing is, it showed that the base of it was in Omaha, Nebraska, which is 2 hours from us.
Correct.
Yeah, 2 hours from us. And they were talking about how in Omaha, Des Moines, and the Franklin Company, but how it reached across the United States with individuals, doctors, lawyers, individuals that were there, and these people with money. But that was almost 2.5, 3 decades ago, when I was traveling around and got this information, and even when I went to Germany, you know, this is one of the things that came up. You know,
And see, you got to worry about your child um, meeting someone on social media, and they're not the real person that they're meeting. They're telling them that they're their 16-year-old friend, and you got a 32-year-old man that's talking to them. Or you nowadays you got men that wants to send that child money, let them buy this, lure them in with gifts and everything,
wow,
you know,
yeah.
and they go for it. And then you look around and your child is gone.
So, question. So, 2 things. I had 2. One, should parents take more interest in with their children that's on the computer and know what they're on? 2, you know, do a lot of children get on because of the climate? They're lonely. They're looking for something, or they get mad at the parent and somebody else is on there is telling them what they want to hear.
It's all of that.
Yeah.
It's all of that. You know, and sometimes a child, that's their only communication with the outside world. They don't have nobody else, but yeah, it's important. You can't watch your child 24/7 on social media. You just can't.
Right.
Especially if you're allowed them with their phone, their computer, they're going to do what they want to do. But you can kind of lure them to do something else. You can do something else with your child.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to put down that phone.
Right. Okay. But so you need to get the children more involved then,
Yes.
right? More involved with what's going on, and what about especially young people, and I found this to be actually a misnomer, because a lot of young people say and tell older people there's nothing to do in Des Moines, you know, And to me, there's so much to do in Des Moines.
That's true. There is a lot of things for them to do. But then you have to be careful because a lot of things cost so much money.
Oh, okay.
I see that being the barrier.
Okay.
The money. You know, everything's expensive to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look around and you really want to find something for your child to do, you can figure something out.
Yeah. You know.
Like it's not with the school system. They got a girls football that just started last Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that every Sunday they play at MediaCom Stadium. It's for the girls, something for them to do.
Wow. And anybody can join the team, or do you know?
Yeah, you have to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh wow. So there are things. So
and it's free.
do we need like a reference? Something that a reference that says, these are things your young people can do.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I think that would be cool. Yeah.
I don't know that I know Capiletta Berry has a program
Okay.
for the teens.
Right.
I know she has a program.
Right.
I don't really know anything about it, but I know she has this teen program.
Right.
That's something for teens to do.
Okay.
Sometime as parents, we have to tell our kids, you need to do something. Even if it's run track for school, even if it's playing basketball, because I told mine, you're not going to sit around and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you pick something you're going to do. My younger said, my older said, they weren't athletic, but they did other things.
Right.
They just didn't sit around the house on their phone.
Okay.
Because one thing I can say about all 6 of my daughters, they have great work ethics.
Wow. Yeah, I agree.
Great work ethics.
I agree.
Yeah. And all of them went to work at 14.
Okay.
And have been working ever since.
So that's what you've actually raised them to be able to do that, though.
Well, they see me. No matter what, I gotta work.
Yeah, because you've been working, man, and you're still working.
Still working.
Still working. I am too. We gotta retire.
We gotta find some money.
Okay. All right, we need to talk to somebody. We need to talk. I don't know what April and Langston do that we still broke. So we gotta get us some money somewhere. That type of thing. And just since you brought that up about money, this is the time now before we get ready to get out of here. And Taylor says what she said at DMPS Sports, online. That's what you do that and you find out, about the sports that people can get into.
Des Moines Public School.
Des Moines Public School. Before we go on, this is your chance now in these next few minutes to ask Stephanie any question that you want to ask her. This is a time for you to, about your child, about foster care, about my baby sister's life and why she's made the commitment she has. You can ask any question right now that you want to ask, make any comment that you want to make, and we're going to talk about it on the air in these last few. This is also your time to look at, and I got to do the sponsorship because, one of the supporters that we have is Noche Jazz Club downtown, that's run by Maria Rivas. And want to say thank you. She's been a support of Creative Visions and this podcast for a long time. So we want to thank. So you want a good jazz on a Friday, Saturday night, that's the time, for you to get on, And we see that Satire Duncan has joined us and probably been on. I just didn't see it on mine. So, it just jumped on that she's on with us now. And we want to welcome you. She's one of our regulars, on she comes on or it's time. But this is your chance. But this is also, you know, when you come on, when you come on to this show, when you come on and you hear something that inspires you, then we want you to be able, to say, hey, I was inspired. We want you to tell your friends about it. But we also want you to say, and Stephanie, we encourage people to not only young people need to do something, adults need to do something.
That's true.
Yeah. That one of the things that you can do is come here to Creative Visions. You can volunteer. All you have to do is get in touch with Langston. Langston's our volunteer coordinator. You just hook up with Langston, come here and volunteer. And if you don't want to come to Creative Vision, you got the Wilkie House. You got Starts Right Here. You have Urban Dreams. And I'm missing a whole lot of folk. But you have a list of places you can go to volunteer. Of course, we want you to come and volunteer here. Of course, we want you to get out of your comfort zone. But this is a chance for you to come. You know, so to come and do something different, come and volunteer, that type of thing. So we want you to donate. cvonline.us, cvonline.us, or call us, let us know, and say, hey, if you want to message us right there on the Facebook page and say, I want to become a supporter of your show, I want to be a supporter of your podcast, this is what we do. We'll tell you what it takes to become a supporter, and we'll mention your company. We'll mention you as an individual. We'll mention you and say, hey, you're a supporter of this program, without a doubt. So, Stephanie, we're going to take questions, that come up. And I've seen, I think Maria Reve says something about Noche, and I don't have it here. Maybe y'all can help me, so I could, read it and, see what she said, because I don't have it at this point. But I just seen it, just seen it real quick. So,